Hello and welcome to today's edition of Crafting with Mermaid Tears. Today we are not going to be crafting, we are actually going to be doing some baking, which is another one of my favorite hobbies. So today we are going to be making what I am calling Siren Eggs, which is just a fancy way of saying Easter eggs, but I wanted the theme to fit with it. What I will do is I will put the recipe up on the side of the screen for you guys so that you can follow along, but it's a pretty easy recipe to make. We're going to start by making the inside lemon filling for it, and to start that you just take a cup of room temperature butter and you slide that into your bowl. The next thing that you're going to add to your quarter cup of room temperature butter is going to be your icing sugar, and you're going to start by just adding 2 cups of the icing sugar. So there's my first 2 cups, so I'm just going to add that into the bowl with my quarter cup of room temperature butter. And then the next thing that I am going to add to it is the lemon juice, and it's 2.5 tablespoons of lemon juice. So now that I've got that in there, the next thing that I'm going to do is just add my dash of salt. And then of course it is time for the marshmallow extract. I use this in quite a bit of my baking, especially if I'm doing chocolate treats or fudge. It is wonderful. If you've never used it, it is going to be one of your new friends. Plus it tastes so good on ice cream and other yummy desserts. In order to get the marshmallow stuff out of the cup and into the bowl, the easiest trick is to go back and forth with your fork, or spoon, pardon me. So you're going to go forwards and then scoop it back and in. And then if you're still having problems, you can just use the side of the cup and scrape along the edges. Once you have added the marshmallow goop, you're going to add a teaspoonful of lemon extract, and then you are going to add half a teaspoon of the vanilla extract. With everything in your bowl and ready to go, you are going to take your blender and you're going to take your beater and you're going to beat it on a medium speed until it's got a nice firm consistency, and smooth and even. So here we go. So I'm not sure if you can see, but it's nice and smoothly blended now, and so it stays on my beaters. So this is what I'm going to start to add the other cups of flour slowly. So you can add up to another 3 cups of flour, and you want to make sure that you scrape it off the sides of the bowl to get it all in. And you're also going to want to add your food coloring. So let's start by adding another cup of our icing sugar. All right, with my next cup in, I'm ready to blend again. If you have a splatter cover for your bowl, I do recommend you use it. I am getting icing sugar absolutely everywhere. Now I'm going to add my next cup. For the last cup of flour, I'm probably just going to mix it in with my hands, just because I'm finding it's getting a little bit harder now and it's kind of flying everywhere, but you can certainly keep using your blender if you would like. I'm just going to use my hands because I like getting messy and it's easier. With my final cups of icing sugar in there, I'm now going to just take a yellow food coloring, and I am going to add probably about 4 drops of it to give it a nice yellow color. So the next part now is going to be making the little balls to put in the fridge to let them harden. I've picked up this form from Michael's, and so I'm going to be using the chocolate and then the little ball in it and then more chocolate to finish it off. So I think what they say about a 1-inch ball will work just as well in here. So just to try that, I'm going to pick up a little bit of my dough here and I'm going to roll it in my hands. And yeah, so that would look really nice with the chocolate all around it. So now we're just going to make these round-inch balls, and we are going to put them on a cookie sheet. But before we put them on the cookie sheet, we're just going to put a piece of parchment paper. And so now we're just going to pick them up, roll them in our hands, and put them on the parchment paper. With my balls all set on my tray, I am going to put that in the fridge, and I'm going to let it sit for about 45 to 50 minutes. Because I'm going to be using the molds and not dipping them in chocolate, I'm going to start right now actually getting the first layer of the chocolate into the molds. So the first thing that I'm going to do is use my dark chocolate. I chose dark chocolate just because it is already so sweet with all of the sugar that this will help to counter that a little bit. And I've also got some unsweetened coconut because lemon and coconut just tastes really good together. So I'm going to take about a cup of this and I'm just going to start by adding it to my glass bowl. So as you can see, the 45 seconds didn't do very much for the chocolate. So I'm going to put it in for another 15 seconds. And I'm going to just keep doing 15-second intervals until it melts. You don't want chocolate to get too melty or it starts to kind of just congeal together. So you can see now that the chocolate moves around my bowl nice and evenly. So I'm just going to take a scoop of the chocolate and I'm going to put it into the mold. And I'm just going to fill it into the base and then smoosh it around the sides to cover the whole side of the egg. Because remember, I'm creating the shell for my yellow ball. So I'm going to go swoosh, swoosh, swoosh around the side of the egg. And I'm going to do that for all of them. And then once I've got it in, I'm going to take just a little teeny tiny dab of the coconut and go psh, 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 into my eggshells. So when it's done, it will look something like this. So with all 6 of my eggshells now ready to go, I'm going to just put those in the fridge beside the lemon balls, and when they are done, then I'm going to put them in the center. So I will see you in an internet second and in what is about 40 minutes for me. Of, I guess, cooking with mermaid tears or baking with mermaid tears instead of crafting with mermaid tears. I think I've figured out a few tricks that hopefully I can use next time to make the video a little bit easier and more visual for you to follow. But as always, I look forward to your questions, comments, or feedback on the video below, and I hope that you visit my website www.mermaidtears.ca. And if nothing else, eat some chocolate and have yourself an absolutely fabulous day.